Dear learners, greetings of the day. Today we will be moving forward with the higher engineering mathematics or advanced topics related to the unit matrices. In the previous lectures, we have all discussed about the various concepts or fundamentals regarding the matrices, wherein we talked about the various definitions related to the matrices, what are the operations to be performed on the matrices, calculation of the inverse with the different methods. Accordingly, then last topic which was very new to you was rank of a matrix. Now taking the gist of all these topics, we will be utilizing them for the further discussion of the topic in the unit, that is linear and orthogonal transformation. The very first topic to be discussed will be linear and orthogonal transformation. As the verse suggests, one of the in the phrase word is transformation, means surely there will be certain change from one type or one domain to the other domain, or in general I can say there will be the establishment of the relationship. Secondly, it will be the orthogonal transformation. Now what actually these means, we will be looking forward in the coming lecture. Before that, as we are discussing about the higher engineering mathematics, or to be more precise, applications of particular topic should be known while learning the higher or advanced topics. So in the matrices, what we have or what we know is the advanced topics related to the matrices. So what are those applications of the matrices? These are of great utility in various branches or many branches of sciences. So in engineering, as I discussed earlier also, only solution of a problem is not to be learned. We need to know how to formulate the problem. Then obviously once the problem is formulated, we need to have the solution for it. And lastly, modeling should be done appropriately. So here in applications, the very first in mathematics what we can have is algebraic and differential equations, mechanics, aerodynamics and astronomy. Mechanics you all are familiar with, or in your core subject you will be dealing with. Everybody is well aware with the background of physics or quantum mechanics. So in theory of electrical machines or circuits, we have optics. Now in those sense, in those topics or in those concepts, how actually this matrices deal with, it is used to calculate the battery power outputs, resistor conversion of electrical energy, that is Kirchhoff's voltage law, Kirchhoff law you all have discussed in the earlier years. Then in computers, it plays a vital role in projection of three-dimensional image to two-dimensional image on the screen, or creating realistic screening motions. See, whatever we are doing on the screen may be the three-dimensional, but on the projection or as a part of projection on the screen, because our screen is two-dimensional, all those motions are done with the various operations related to matrices. Then eigenvector and stochastic matrices. Eigenvector is one of the topic what we will be dealing in this particular unit, which is completely new for you. They are used in page rank algorithms for ranking of web pages in Google, or encryption of messages code. Okay, ranking of web pages means if you type anything on the Google, the very first information at hand you get. Usually we have the habit, when we scroll down, the very first whatever thing is visible, we click on it and we start searching. So how that position is determined, that lot many searches are done, and accordingly after that only we are able to get that particular on the first position. So that ranking algorithms are all designed with the help of eigenvectors and stochastic matrices. Stochastic matrices is one of the familiar word in the statistics. Mathematics is one of the branch of science. Similarly, statistics also is another branch. Encryption of message codes. See, whenever you perform any of the transaction, you get an OTP. That is all related to the algebra of the matrices. So encryption of the code, whatever code is generated and you feed it into the portal or the build desk where you are diverted to or directed to, accordingly those codes are encrypted with the help of the matrices. For the electronic media in robotics and automation, base elements for robot movements programmed with the calculation of matrices, that is rows and columns. Statistics, just now I talked, it is used for taking seismic surveys, plotting of graphs, world's data collection. Statistics is nothing but the collection of data, interpretation of data, conclusion, making a conclusion over it, and accordingly we can have the data like population, habits and traits coordinates, etc. So this is all what we should know, various branch specific applications of the topics or the contents what we will be dealing with in this particular unit. So my topic actually to be discussed is linear and orthogonal transformation. So after splitting it into the two portions, I will be first talking about the linear transformation and then we move to the orthogonal transformation. Now, in a phrase linear transformation, what does it specify or what does it tells us about? Transformation means one moving from one domain to the other. What do you mean by linear? Linear means keeping the linear power or degree as 1. Accordingly, establishing relationship between one variable with the help of the other in linear terms. In linear terms means we don't have any higher powers, we have only power or degree as 1. Like equation of a straight line, it is always linear in nature. As you move towards the higher orders, it no more remains a linear, it becomes a curve. Similarly here, whatever transformation I will be talking about or discussing about, it will be right now a linear transformation. See a figure here, I have disclosed or here I have drawn OX1 as one of the axis and another axis is OX2 with respect to x axis, or with consideration of the x variable. With consideration of the y variable, I have drawn two axes, that is one of them is OY1 and another one is OY2. Obviously, whenever you have two axes, the angle between them is 90 degree. So OX1 and OX2 forms an angle of 90 degree. OY1 and OY2 also forms an angle of 90 degree. I have taken one point P in the space wherein whose coordinates are x1 and x2. Accordingly, if I have to form the relationship between the variables y1, y2 and x1, x2, we know that in a right angle triangle I can involve the trigonometric terms, that is sine as well as cosine, and with x coordinate cos theta is associated, with y coordinate sin theta is associated. That is all we know. So I have considered a point P with the coordinates x1 comma x2 with respect to the rectangular coordinate axis OX1 and OX2. So making angle theta, I can express y1, y2 in terms of x1, x2 with the help of theta, as y1 is equal to x1 cos theta plus x2 sin theta. Accordingly, see opposite upon hypotenuse, adjacent upon hypotenuse. Y2, as it goes beyond 90 degree, negative sign will be there because x coordinate becomes negative over there. So minus x1 sin theta plus x2 cos theta. My aim is, after establishing this particular relationship, I should be able to convert it into the matrix form, because I am mostly dealing with all the concepts related to matrices. Everybody knows if there are two variables and two equations, its conversion into the matrix form will be obviously the 2 cross 2 matrix. Also, product of the matrices should also be compatible accordingly. So on the left I have the column matrix, say y1, y2. On the right hand side I will express it or split it or separate them into the variable coefficient matrix as well as the coefficient matrix. One of these are the two variables, say x1 and x2, it is expressed in the column form. Cos theta, sin theta, cos theta are all the coefficient matrices. Coefficient matrices means which are associated with the variables. So this particular matrix becomes cos theta, sin theta, minus sin theta and cos theta. Now whatever I have written is correct or not. Two matrices are equal if their orders are same. This is a matrix of order 2 cross 1. Here also the product should give me the matrix of order 2 cross 1. Now multiply. How the multiplication is possible? Cos theta into x1 plus sin theta into x2. One line or one row is generated, minus sin theta into x1 plus cos theta into x2. Second line is generated, second row is generated. Obviously what we have done is right. So my aim was here expressing these two equations, which are nothing but the relationship of y1, y2 in terms of x1, x2 into the matrix form. So this particular matrix or this particular matrices will now be written as y1, y2 as a column form. Coefficient matrix will be cos theta, sin theta, minus sin theta, cos theta, and accordingly this will be x1, x2, which is again a column matrix. Now suppose I give this name as y, this is called as say any matrix A, and this is called as other matrix as X. So this particular relationship will be written as y is equal to Ax. Undoubtedly, always not possible you are able to express them in terms of cos theta or sin theta. The general transformation which can be obtained as y1 is equal to a1 x1 plus b1 x2, y2 is equal to a2 x1 plus b2 x2. How I will again separate this? y1 y2 will be the column matrix. Take the variables as x1 x2, again this is a column matrix as a whole. What are the coefficients here? a1 b1 a2 b2. So my matrix over here is a1 b1 and a2 b2. This is also expressed as y is equal to a into x, because it contains variable y, it is a coefficient matrix A, this is a variable matrix X. So in general, the transformation can be written as, see, matrices are always denoted by capital alphabet. So I have written it as capital Y is equal to capital A into capital X. This is called as linear transformation. And matrix A, how you read this as term? Square brackets expressed in square bracket we write down capital alphabet, that will be nothing but the matrix known as matrix A. Always it is not mandatory to write the word matrix and then write, better you put a square bracket for that particular alphabet, it will be identified as matrix. So this is matrix A, which is called as matrix of transformation. I know that y when expressed in terms of x with the help of A, that means y is completely changed in terms of x, or I can say x is expressed in terms of y with the help of A, and hence this particular matrix A will be called as matrix of transformation. Now in the earlier case, what was that matrix A? Matrix A was cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta. Calculate the determinant. Determinant will be cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is equal to 1. So determinant of this particular matrix A is equal to 1. Now there are several properties related to this particular matrix of transformation. What are those properties? If determinant A is equal to 0, then transformation is called as singular, or it is also called as non-regular. See, you know the terminology singular matrix and non-singular matrix. Though I call matrix as singular, when it will be called as singular? When its determinant is equal to 0. Whatever matrix is given, you calculate the determinant of it. Accordingly, if that determinant comes out to be 0, you say that the matrix is singular. Likewise, here also, when determinant will be 0, the transformation, why? Because A is to be considered as matrix of transformation. So this particular A, whose determinant is calculated or obtained as 0, will be nothing but the matrix of transformation. If its determinant comes out to be 0, it will be termed as singular or non-regular. Obviously, when I say that determinant is not equal to 0, it is called as non-singular, or it will be termed as regular. If the transformation y is equal to Ax is regular, regular means non-singular. Non-singular means determinant is not equal to 0. Then only I can calculate the inverse. If the determinant of the matrix is not equal to 0, therefore A inverse exists. So now I am interested in calculating the A inverse, and for that the condition is this should be a regular transformation. Regular transformation means it should be non-singular. The matrix of transformation, determinant of it should be not equal to 0. That means A inverse exists. If A inverse exists, then I can write this transformation as x is equal to A inverse y. Initial transformation is y is equal to Ax, but now I will be transferring this A to the other side, so I get x is equal to A inverse y. And this is called as inverse transformation. So for a linear transformation y is equal to Ax, the inverse transformation is obtained by x is equal to A inverse y. The last property related to this what we can discuss is, if y is equal to Ax and z is equal to by. This is one of the linear transformation, and this is another linear transformation, and I have to establish relation between x and z. See, y is associated with x and z is associated with y. I want the simplification or the substitution or the relation between x and z. So if these are two different transformation, then what I can write is z is equal to by, but what is y? y is equal to ax. So instead of y, I put it as ax. So now it becomes z is equal to b into ax. And now b and a will be respectively the corresponding matrix of transformation. So I am left with z is equal to ba into x. So this will give you the relationship between z as well as x. So these are the various properties which are discussed or which are applicable with the help of the linear transformation. So going back to the initial diagram wherein I have tried out to establish relation between x1, x2, y1, y2 wherever those points were plotted on the coordinate axis ox1, ox2, oy1, oy2. Accordingly, we got the transformation in terms of trigonometric term, and then when we discuss about the various cases of the values of determinant, these things crept in. So accordingly, regular transformation, non-regular transformation, inverse transformation, and transitivity, I can call this. Y is equal to a is equal to c. So ultimately y is equal to c. That is how the two transformations are given, and we try to bring out the relationship between first and the third one accordingly with the help of this. So this is all theoretical. Surely we will be dealing it in the form of example in the coming time. This was all regarding the linear transformation. Now what do you mean by orthogonal transformation? See, linear transformation contained only linear variables x1, x2, y1, y2, and those are expressed in the matrix form, and accordingly I can have the term as y is equal to ax. For transformation, may it be linear or orthogonal, the pattern will be y is equal to ax only. But in orthogonal transformation, as we move from linear to the higher order, square comes into the picture. So when, if you have the linear transformation y is equal to ax, what is y? See, now I am not restricting myself only to two variables or two equations. I can generalize it for the n variable or the order of matrix as n. See, so y is expressed as y1, y2 up to yn. Means what is the order of this matrix? N rows and one column, right? So in general, I am trying to modify it for the generalized term or the generalized pattern. This coefficient matrix will contain the terms as a11, a12. A11 means first row, first column. A12 means first row, second column. A1n means first row, nth column. Likewise, nth row I have nth row, first column, nth row, second column, nth row, nth column. Accordingly, this coefficient matrix becomes of order n cross n, or it can be also called as n square matrix, and x is x1 column matrix है, this is also x1 x2 up to xn. So I have y as a column matrix of n cross 1 order, a as a coefficient matrix of order n cross n, x as a column matrix of order n cross 1. So this term y is equal to ax, the linear transformation, is now containing the various parts as y, a and x. This transformation y is equal to ax is termed as orthogonal if it transforms y1 square plus y2 square plus y3 square up to yn square into x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square plus dot 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 up to xn square. Means when this column matrix y1, y2, yn is multiplied by the same matrix but with a different order, so that it will contain the term as square. y1 multiplied by y1 will give you y1 square, y2 multiplied by y2 will give you y2 square. बट भाई यहां तो कॉलम मैट्रिक्स है, कॉलम मैट्रिक्स की कंपैटिबिलिटी ऐसे मैट्रिक्स के साथ मल्टीप्लिकेशन के लिए ढूंढना पड़ेगा ताकि वो स्क्वायर देगा. नाउ फॉर मल्टीप्लिकेशन व्हाट इज द क्राइटेरिया और द रूल? फर्स्ट मैट्रिक्स के नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स शुड बी इक्वल टू द अदर मैट्रिक्स नंबर ऑफ रोज. व्हाट इज द ऑर्डर ऑफ दिस मैट्रिक्स? n इंटू 1. एक ही कॉलम है तो नया जो मैट्रिक्स रहेगा उसका रो कितना होना चाहिए? 1 होना चाहिए, पर अपना फुलफिलमेंट भी होना चाहिए n में. तो मैं इसके बाद जो मैट्रिक्स मल्टीप्लाई करूंगा उसका ऑर्डर क्या रखूंगा? 1 क्रॉस n. Likewise, if this is a column matrix, I should multiply with this matrix with the row matrix whose order will be 1 cross n. So y1, y2, yn multiplied by another matrix in the row form whose elements will also be y1 y2 up to yn. So मुझे मिलेगा y1 square plus y2 square up to yn square. Similarly, this x is a column matrix. To get the term as x1 square, x2 square, x3 square in addition, I should multiply with the matrix whose order will be 1 cross n. यानी it will be again a row matrix which is multiplied to this column matrix, and hence you can get the terms as x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square up to xn square. I would recommend everybody to sit for the lecture keeping pen and copy in your hand, so that whatever you are able to see on the screen, you can immediately write it and see whether I am speaking it correctly or not. So what you draw is, or what you make is a column matrix, multiply with the same or transpose of this particular matrix, which will be a row matrix, and try to multiply. Order of this matrix is n cross 1. Order of this another matrix will be 1 cross n. Product will be n cross n. Accordingly, you get the sum of all the terms with the square and in the addition format. आई गई बात समझ में? सो इन जनरल आई कैन कॉल इट एज y डैश. y डैश का मतलब क्या होगा? इट इज अ ट्रांसपोज ऑफ दिस मैट्रिक्स. ट्रांसपोज ऑफ दिस मैट्रिक्स मींस रोज आर कन्वर्टेड टू कॉलम एंड कॉलम्स आर कन्वर्टेड टू रो. हाउ मेनी रोज आर देयर? n. How many columns are there? 1. In the transpose of this particular matrix, जिसको मैं y dash बोल रहा हूं, उसमें क्या हो जाएगा? How many columns will be there? n columns will be there. And how many rows will be there? Only 1 row will be there. Therefore its order becomes 1 cross n, and then only it is possible. So if I am able to transform this particular transformation y is equal to ax into this form, then it will be called as orthogonal transformation. So this matrix of transformation will be called as orthogonal matrix. Now whatever I am doing with the help of this particular a, because see, y and x are only the means or mode of conversion of this y1 square, y2 square up to yn square into x1 square plus x2 square up to xn square. But by means of what? By means of this capital A. What is this capital A called as? Capital A is called as matrix of transformation. So if this transformation y is equal to ax is to be shown orthogonal, then I need to convert this into this, and then that matrix of transformation will be called as orthogonal matrix. Now how it is possible? Right now I said that product should be taken appropriately of y with its transpose, of x with its transpose, so that I will get the term appropriately. Now we see how it is possible. See, x dash x क्या होता है? ये multiply कर दीजिए. This is a row matrix. Its transpose will be column matrix. You get x1 square plus x2 square up to xn square. Similarly, y dash y क्या होगा? y1 square plus y2 square up to yn square. Now, if this particular matrix or transformation is said to be orthogonal transformation, then y should be multiplied by this y dash, so that I get the term y1 square plus y2 square up to yn square. And on the other side, I should be left with what? I should be left with x dash x. What is x dash x? x1 square plus x2 square up to xn square. Now what is y? Y is ax. So what is y dash? Ax dash. Dash here stands for transpose, or some of you may be knowing it as superscript t, but one and the same thing. And y, what is meaning of y? Y is nothing but simply ax. But what is the property of a transpose? AB transpose is written as B transpose A transpose. Reverse लिखते हो उसको. So what will be AX transpose to be written now? X transpose into A transpose. This bracket multiplied by as it is. I have to derive the relationship for x dash x. I collect the terms A dash and A. So x dash as it is, A dash into A in one bracket, and x as it is. So y dash y can be expressed in terms of x dash x, and in between what is multiplied here? A dash A. In matrices, in algebra we take as 1 wherever I have to keep the result as same. In matrix, that 1 will be replaced by the unit matrix, right? So that will be denoted by I. Fine. So y dash y, if it should be equal to x dash x, this quantity should be 1, then only it is possible. But matrices में वो 1 तो नहीं होता. Matrices में it should be written or identified as a matrix. So I term it as a identity matrix, which is denoted by I. So this is possible only when A dash A becomes I. I hope this is clear. I started with the transformation y is equal to ax. My aim was to bring y dash y equal to x dash x, because that is what the definition of a orthogonal transformation is. So by transitivity and applying various definitions or the properties for the transpose, I simplified and I came to a conclusion that y dash y will be equal to x dash x only when a dash a will be equal to I. If this is true, I can say that that matrix is known as orthogonal matrix. So I have built up the relationship by showing or taking into account the matrix of transformation. We have not disturbed y and x, but rather I am playing with the matrix A, which is matrix of transformation. So whenever A is orthogonal, this property will be satisfied. A into A dash or A dash into A will be equal to I. So whenever I am asked to show that matrix is orthogonal, it is sufficient to prove that A dash A will be equal to I. But this is similar to one of the another definition of the inverse. A into A inverse is equal to I, or A inverse into A is also equal to I. Right? So if A inverse into A is also I and A dash into A is also I, that means A dash should be equal to A inverse. So for any matrix, if I am able to show its transpose equal to inverse, I can say that that particular matrix is orthogonal matrix. If that matrix is orthogonal, easily I can say that corresponding transformation will also be orthogonal, because A will be a part of the transformation which is responsible to build a relation between y as well as x. So in general, whenever I talk about y is equal to ax as a transformation which should be orthogonal, A dash A is equal to I, A inverse is equal to A dash. So accordingly, inverse and transpose, if we are able to show them equal, it is very easy to say that transformation is orthogonal. So this is all theoretical. Accordingly, we will be moving ahead with the examples. I will be taking some examples related to this, and hence we can easily move ahead. Okay. Thank you. If you have any queries, you feel free to contact me. Theoretical, you make it a point that you make a copy, note it down properly, and then we can easily discuss further. Thank you.